Greetings to all of my kings. You know, once again, King Rich Banks checking in and say, now, grandly appreciate you all for tuning in to the King Up podcast, where you will find episodes weekly upon my YouTube. Speaking of my YouTube, I would love for you to go subscribe, like, tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe and like. I created the King Up podcast to inspire and motivate kings to king up to your full potential. Note, daily adjustments can help you revamp your whole entire life. What is king up? Rich Banks, you say? The transformation a man needs to make to transform from man to king. Self-discipline, living in your purpose. Of course, a healthy mindset and the willpower to want to become a better version of yourself. In today's episode, we are stepping into self-love. And speaking of self-love, may I ask you, do you love yourself? Took me a while to figure out this process to love myself. So first and going forward, you have to experience anything that makes you feel love or anything that you love. Because I remember a time I did not know how to love myself properly, like I should be. I was not eating or exercising in the healthiest way I could. Also, I was not always thinking positive thoughts. That's another thing about self-love. You have to think positive thoughts. That creates a better version of yourself. It creates better things surrounding you as well. So back to the self-love. You have to do something, anything. Remove barriers, let your drive change, and create micro goals. Speaking of micro goals, I'm continuously learning to create micro goals for ourselves. So if you have some, share with me, and where we can help each other king up. So continuing on self-love. To have self-love, first and foremost, you have to say goodbye to the chaos. To create the self-love, do something that you never did before, something that's new to you, out of your range. When the last time you took a vacation? Take one. When the last time you seen a loved one that you miss? Go visit them. Me, myself, every weekend, my self-love is to take myself to the beach. In the summertime, I would go to a natural spring. I also love traveling. So these are the things that I love for myself. So I create these things to bring self-love to myself. You can do traveling, or you can find different experiences. Something like you can find different experiences within the world. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I probably did. Just do something that's totally different of your regular realm. So let's get back to the self-discipline. Tell yourself, no more excuses. Get stronger, smarter, and better. Self-discipline is about taking the higher road, not following the crowd. Because mind where the strength matters most. Self-discipline is like when you see something and you know that's not correct, or something that you do not like, you don't continuously do that. You stop yourself, right? That's what self-discipline is. And you have to be strong about that. You can't say, okay, I'm gonna not do this and still do this. You have to have the willpower to not do something that is not gonna provoke you or send you in the right direction. It's itty bitty steps you can take. Today, say, for example, I start with my self-discipline. I started with the food. I said, today, I'm not gonna eat a hamburger or beef. I practiced that. Once I conquered that, I went to the next thing, chicken. I stopped eating that. I practiced that. Once I conquered that, I went to the pork. See, I'm not asking anyone for permission. I'm just stopping these things on my own. Self-discipline. So once I conquered that on the pork, now I look back, I have stopped all of those things. That's what I mean about the self-discipline. You only can get this energy and this practice from yourself. Matter of fact, say this to yourself. I love myself enough to be self-disciplined. I'm not gonna go hang out with the guys this weekend because I got business to take care of. I'm not gonna go to the club this weekend because that's not beneficial for me. I'm not gonna go back and forth with this person that just want to bring chaos, like I mentioned earlier. Say goodbye to the chaos and do not look back. Continuously going forward. That's what self-discipline is. And there's going to be many other examples. It's just the first one. There'll be many other examples for us to get into. That's why I need you to tune in next week and the week after and the week after to the King Up podcast. Because we're going to grow. We're going to get there. And we're going to overcome these obstacles. So you can king up, king. May I throw this in? Be a man of action. Because I had to learn that myself. Be a man of action. And watch your life transform before your eyes. If you can remain curious, life does not get boring. Life does not get boring. So tell yourself this as well. No more excuses. Get stronger, smarter, and better. We're going to move along a bit, living in your purpose. Do you know your purpose? Because I honestly had to find mine. I was all over the place. You know, you really have to sit down and take the time with yourself to see what your purpose is. Because you can look at someone else and be like, I don't want to do that, but is that your purpose? You cannot live someone else's life. You have to live yours, live in your purpose. And with all of these things, you have to have the willpower. You have to want to. No one else can make you. You cannot listen to a song and I want to throw my boy Jesus in there, but Jesus, you cannot listen to Jesus motivation solely. You can use that for a boost, but ultimately, you got to have your own motivation, your own willpower to want to become a better version of yourself. And man, when I tell you, sir, once you build that up, you will be proud, King. You will be proud, King. You definitely are. You definitely are. You will look at yourself in the mirror, you'll be like, oh yeah, I really leveled up. I did that. You took the higher road, King. And I'm going to say to myself, because I know you're going to reach back out to me. I'm going to say to myself, I'm proud of you, King. I'm proud of you. So always think positively. Always. Always think positively. Now back up a bit as well. Speaking of the self-love, I remember a time I did not love myself. And what I mean by that is, like I mentioned earlier about the food. This is no knock to any king out there, but I was not eating properly or as healthy as I could have been. I was not exercising. I was not building my mind and listening to the proper things to king myself up. I thought going to the club, drinking, and all this other stuff, not knocking you all for what you do, but for me, I thought that was bigging myself up or showing myself self-love. No, I was damaging myself in retrospect. But because if I wouldn't have took that step to want to king up then, I would not be in the space that I am at now. I had to take that time to myself and really look in the mirror and say, do you want to be like this forever? You want to be the same way as you started out forever? No. You see how things change? So why would you stay the same? There's nothing wrong with change. That's another big thing with self-love. You got to love yourself enough to not remain the same. Because if you remain the same, why do you want to continue to remain the same? Another thing that'll help you out with self-love and kinging up. You have to think positive thoughts. Even when you want to think negative, you have to think positive thoughts. When your mind says, I can't do this, you turn around and tell that mind, yes, I can. And then you demonstrate that. And watch these negative thoughts slowly leave your mind, your space, and your life. These small steps to king up. And you have to have everyday strength. You cannot be excited one day for something that you got going on. You know something coming on. You cannot be excited one day, then the next day, since something is not happening, now you back to the regular. No. Everyday strength. You think I got like this by taking time off? I had to practice this every day, daily practice. Because I never strive to be perfect. I only practice to be pure. That is kinging up, sir. Another thing I want to share with you before I go. You do not get motivated, then do something. You heard the examples I was just saying earlier. You do something that gets you motivated. Now I want to share with you all before I get up out of here. You know this all. You all know that this is the first episode. So may I share with you that this was a bit tough for me. But I had to do something. I had to do something that gets me motivated. So if I never would have took this step after the 15 million steps I was trying to make, if I wouldn't have took that last one to keep trying to get to this point, you wouldn't have never heard this. You wouldn't have never heard this episode, let alone the podcast. You wouldn't have never heard this. Like I say, this is the beginning. There's going to be many, many, many more examples and stories and just different ways to king up. I would love for you all to stay tuned because, like I say, I'm coming weekly. So you need to be looking forward. And you actually be intrigued. Reach out to me if you need to. Ask me when is the next podcast launching or what type of ideas that I can help you with to king up. You can reach out to me in the DMs, the comments. Soon you'll have my email. You'll be directly connected to me. I need for you to link in. So stay tuned because I would love for you all to continue viewing my videos to gain clarity on your king up journey. Once again, King Rich Banks checking in. And I want to say I greatly appreciate you all for tuning in to the first episode of the King Up podcast. To all of my kings, level up. The time is now. Big up yourself, sir. I will see you all and speak to you all soon. Rich Banks, the King Up podcast. Yes, sir.